Within the health and social care team at Stafford University, we've developed a model of pastoral support that goes above and beyond academic mentoring. We're a unique team that's drawn from academic disciplines of theology, psychology, and sports science. We have team members who have worked in the care sector and then been drawn into academia. We know that health and social care students come from a diverse range of backgrounds, often having taken a long break from academic study, losing confidence. We work with our students integrating study skills into the degree curriculum, setting up support and signposting to the university wellbeing, and spending time talking through many iterations of assignment drafts. Most lecturing teams would do this. What the health and social care team does is build in what I refer to here as academic love, that element of knowing and caring with students about their degree progression. This presentation will introduce and interrogate the concept of academic love and discuss how the health and social care team apply the concept. So what is love? Well, Greek philosophy separates love into 4 types: philia, storge, eros, and agape. Philia is friendship, storge is affection, eros is romantic love, and agape is, or caritas, represents Christian charity. Caritas is the traditional lasting name for altruistic love, but which more prosaically can be interpreted as caring. A real sense of caring grounded in social solidarity and altruism. So what is love and why are we talking about it in an academic context? Well, as a team, we've brought about care and welfare we've brought care and welfare into being within the course. And it's this notion of care that leads me to develop caritas or love as an academic capital. So within the health and social care team, we offer an approach to care that's not just based on formal scientific delineations of work and job role, but on love and solidarity and shared work. And we move beyond organisational values towards a space of care where love is operationalised. We can examine love as a social justice concept. Baker examined religious or spiritual capital as a way of conceptualising not simply the material resource base of British religious groups, but also the constitution of human trust and relationships. And we can talk about communities based on affection and kinship, and communities based on independence and exchange. And we can talk about a community approach to service delivery. We can talk about love in the sense of solidarity and interdependence. And here solidarity comes from being in a community, in an academic learning community, rather than being a community. Bell Hooks wrote throughout her academic career around the importance of love and love as a social justice goal. Part of what she talks about in her book, Teaching to Transgress, is finding ways of working with people where they are, being person-centred in our teaching approaches, and attempting to decolonise our teaching methodologies in ways that meet students where they are and seek to support their learning and support needs. There's a key quote from Bell Hooks that I would like to read to you. The moment that we choose to love, we begin to move against domination, against oppression. The moment we choose to love, we begin to move towards freedom, to act in ways that liberate ourselves and others. That action is the testimony of love as the practice of freedom. And I think that's where we're trying to move to here, that sense of finding ways of offering pastoral support and academic care that create a social justice community, that create person-centred ways of supporting our students. Which took me to the academic theories around care ethics, and trying to create an academic creation or definition of love as an ethic of care. So I moved towards looking at Nodding's work and her groundbreaking philosophical work on the ethic of care, where she emphasises a focus on caring as the compass in the teaching profession and an emphasis on the recognition of and longing for relatedness. Nodding's captured how care is a central dimension and foundation to the human morality. And embedded within this theory is the concept of care as a core of teaching and learning. in that sense that care is a response-based ethic based on the individual needs of students. This ethic of care supports students' funds of knowledge and highlights teaching as situational and connected to the individual characteristics that a student might possess, including their social and emotional needs, instructional needs, their strengths, and their linguistic and cultural backgrounds. So, what is love? Well, as a health and social care team, we've created a shared praxis of shared work, love, and care that meets student needs. We run regular group and one-to-one academic mentoring sessions. We offer opportunities for students to get involved in not just attending lectures, but attending workshops, attending seminars, in getting involved in work-based learning. We hold regular gatherings, whether that be around kind of the end of term in December, or whether that be the summer term, for students to get together and share learning between different year groups. So some of the level 6s can offer advice to the level 4s and the level 5s. We've also got a really strong student democracy. So we have student reps at every level that feed into the course boards, but also feed into working with the lecturers to improve the learning and teaching on the course as we move through the year. So I'd just like to take this opportunity to ask if you have any questions, or if you would like to contribute to this emerging kind of thought process that I'm having around pastoral care. So that's, I'll press escape on there, but if anybody does want to see the references, I've kind of gathered them up in one place if people want them. So yeah, those are my initial thoughts. They're ideas at the moment, and they're linked to my PhD on operationalising love within austerity. So I'm kind of trying to think through how we bring kind of an academic concept of love and pedagogic care ethics into the work that we do. I don't know, Phil, whether you wanted to do questions now or whether actually it's better to put them in the chat and answer later. I don't know what your timetable has planned.
We can do both. We do have time for 1 or 2 questions. So if you did have a question for Katy, if you'd like to raise your hand, we can allow you to unmute your mic so you can ask the question. And we'll just give it a 30 seconds or so. If not, I think there might be a question in the chat. But just while we're waiting, I guess I'll ask a question if that's okay. And it's just, how have students responded to this model of support? Can you share any kind of success stories or feedback?
We've had some fantastic feedback. The success story is the graduation picture that you saw at the start of the slides, which was just yesterday. And I think it's the feedback, the written feedback in the NSS survey, the informal written feedback that we get from students is really positive. Because it's that person-centred support, we're quite fortunate in that we know all of our students' names. They see us and come regularly to visit us in the office, as well as kind of joining us for lectures and workshops. So we spend time getting to know our students, and that person-centred care is built into a group solidarity of a learning team. And the feedback is really, really positive, both through formal methods, but also through informal kind of feedback from the students. And yeah, the thank yous at graduation yesterday. It's my favourite day of the year, and yesterday didn't disappoint.
Oh, that's so nice. And what a great way to start the event. And I can just tell from kind of your smile, it's how much it means to you, which is lovely. It really is. So, Kay, you've had your hand up. So we have allowed you to unmute yourself, and you can turn your camera on if you'd like to.
Thank you. Mic on and off. Katy, thank you. I'm from Southampton, and we've got I'm also part of the team that supports nursing students down here. I came in a bit late, so I missed the photo of graduation. I don't know how many students you've got, but I'm just wondering, how did you start that movement of students from maybe a little bit of apathy towards being very engaged and wanting to come and visit you and wanting to come in? So we've tried opening up skills labs and saying come in and work together, third years work with second years, but it's hard to get it moving because of the kind of the apathy.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely a challenge. And I wouldn't say that we had perfection. And these presentations, it's always easy to come in to say, I've got this perfect, and absolutely, you know, it isn't perfect. What we've done as a team is we're a really kind of tight-knit teaching team, and we have shared that culture of support, and we're very supportive with each other, and we've shared that culture of support within the student groups. And I think it's the first thing that we say during Welcome Week, that actually we're a learning team, and the learning team, you're only as good as your kind of quietest member, and finding ways for the students to support each other right in the beginning. We do lots of participatory learning, and I'm a firm believer of participatory research and participatory pedagogies anyway, but I think that really helps. It's always really useful, and we're not always fortunate with university budgets the way that they are, but it's always helpful if we've got a bit of a budget to invite students in. So December last year, we had one of our students come who graduated the previous year, talk about her learning journey, how much she'd appreciated the support from the staff, but also where she'd gone with her degree. We were able to do a bring and share meal there, but we had a little bit of money to bring some speakers in, to rent a room, and so a little bit of funding from the university actually goes a long way. And then creating a bit of sharing. We've got loads of students from all over the world, so we had this wonderful shared meal together, with lots of different foods and different specialisms. Those types of events actually are great ways to kind of break down barriers. You're absolutely right, trying to get students engaged and on campus is challenging, and these are challenging times. So it's not to, it's not to misrepresent what, the work that goes on, or the fact that actually, we also experience challenges.
But even just hearing you talking about participative ways of working and the importance of, it starts with the education team. And if you walk the walk in the education team, it will it should overspill. Yeah. So that's food for thought. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thanks. Oh, Phil, you're on mute.
Good start, isn't it? We've got about a minute left. Paul, you've had your hand up. You should be able to unmute your question if you'd like to. If you could try and fit that into about a minute, that would be appreciated.
I'm going to make it very quick. It's more reflection. So the way I teach is very much based around empathy-based education and being authentic. And while the classes are too big to be able to get to know everyone's name effectively and doing stuff, I think that sense of being genuine, authentic, and trying to build empathy, because I will ask how other classes are going, what they'll generally be interested in, how their journey is, particularly with postgrad students where they've only got a year on campus with us. I think this is great what you've talked about, and it overlays with what I've been doing quite a bit then. But I didn't know if there's any differences between how we treat postgraduate students versus undergraduate for you then, in terms of how you see love within HE.
Yeah, I don't teach any postgraduate courses. I do supervise masters and PhD students. I think it goes back to how you interact with people, and maybe because we have a lot of mature students in our courses, that might contribute to the approach. But actually, we've taken the same approach with our undergraduate and our postgraduate work, which is that getting to know people and trying to find ways to kind of create a sense of solidarity. I can't speak to masters classes because I don't teach masters at the moment, but trying to create that sense of solidarity and teamwork works really well in a mixed age group, because we have 18-year-olds on our course, but we also have a large number of mature students, which is actually a really nice kind of nurturing space. Then you've got different people taking on different roles within that team.
I think the postgraduate bit's really interesting because they've got a year on campus where, for instance, this year I've been teaching 95% are from India. So trying to get within that 1 year ability to build bonds, get themselves set up and do things, that sense of love, empathy, looking after them, that's probably more important at a postgraduate level where they've got such a little time to get used to being in the UK, even let alone the way we do things in terms of higher education.
Yeah, and building that culture of caring for each other and signposting to support, I completely agree, is really important, particularly if you've got a small period where you're kind of trying to get kind of learning outcomes and kind of feeling settled and feeling welcome outcomes as well.
Thanks, Katy.
Thanks.
Thanks, Paul, and thanks, Katy. We should maybe set out some breakout meetings after these to follow, because there's so many discussions which are generated here. It's a great start to the end. So thank you so much, Katy. There are lots of questions in the chat and in the Q&A, so if you could take a look, that would be appreciated. Thank you.